On Britain's streets, a battle is raging.
Don't touch me, son.
Well, I already just did, didn't I?
What are you going to do about it?
Over 11 million of us rent.
I wouldn't put anybody in this situation.
Oh, seriously, they're not living in this, are they?
So why should I live like this?
But thousands fall victim to rogue landlords.
There's just water cascading through here.
This is a dirt trap.
On the other side, there are 2 million private landlords and counting.
I want my house back. I don't give a toss.
I wanted to drag her out of the flat. This is mine.
I'll never rent again. Too much hassle.
But many face financial ruin at the hands of tenants from hell.
He hasn't had his rent for ages. He's owed
So
20...
what? So when are you going to pay me the money?
There's a scam going on here, Donny.
I know.
In this series,
Go, come on, let's go.
we follow the heroes who take slum landlords down.
Paying rent to live in a decent property.
There's so many things wrong, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, somebody touches that, they get electrocuted.
Not acceptable.
And the experts whose job it is to evict nightmare tenants.
Do not push me. Do not push me.
Every year, landlords lose close to £1 billion in unpaid rent and court costs. But that's small change in comparison to the cost of repairing damage done by rogue tenants. Repairs which add up to an eye-watering £4.5 billion annually. Wayne Elliott is on his way to inspect the house he once lived in. A place he used to love, but which is now causing him no end of grief.
I think I can help people, so you do, you know. I class myself as quite a nice guy. She was in trouble, so, you know, if we can help, we'll help.
When an employee at the tanning shop Wayne runs needed somewhere to live, Wayne offered to help her out, a decision he now bitterly regrets.
The way she became the tenant was basically she hit hard times and she became homeless. I was just moving in with my partner and my property that I was in, I was going to rent it out. So I said, look, you move in there, it's fully furnished, it's got everything. And she didn't have anything at the time. And for about 6 months, it was fine.
The honeymoon didn't last. First, she stopped turning up for work, then paying her rent.
We tried to phone her on numerous occasions. She sent us a text and said, you can't phone me, you can't text me, here's an email address. So we emailed her, we never got a reply. So that didn't really work very well. At that point, I knew there was no going back.
Now his tenant owes him over £3,000 in missing rent.
I just felt a bit of a mug, really, for trying to help somebody out. Oh, my God. Yeah, it's a right mess. You've got rubbish on the front lawn. The outside is bad, but it's the inside I'm worried about. I had new carpet in there, it's all wooden floors. You know, it's lovely inside. Really, really nice little house. Dread to think what it's like in there now.
It's not just the mess that's worrying Wayne. There've also been reports of antisocial behaviour.
We had the police knock on the door a couple of times, and because I think there's been complaints. But
right, but the police have been round a few times. Yeah.
Twice they've knocked on our door and said, "Have we seen anything?"
I've just been told that the reason why the police were called because 2 of them were scrapping on the front lawn. Poor neighbours. I feel so sorry for them. Cheers, mate.
Just as Wayne is checking out the back garden, he spots something. A man dashes out of the house and disappears into the woods.
Why are you running, mate? Why are you running away? Just come out the back of the house and just ran away. That wasn't open a minute ago, that top window. It's obviously somebody staying there and tried to do a runner out the back door and run away. Madness.
Desperate to get his property back, Wayne has recently hired eviction lawyer Chris Sharp. Chris has already begun legal proceedings to have Wayne's tricky tenant evicted. And today is the day of the court hearing.
We're on our way to Kettering County Court today. My client offered a hand of generosity to a friend, tenant. He now faces many thousands of pounds in arrears, so we are really hoping and aiming to get the order for possession as soon as we can, so we can get that woman out and my client can get on with renting his property out. How you doing, Wayne?
Very well, Chris, you?
Good to see you again.
And you? Good?
So you ready for today?
Yep, all ready.
We're going to do all we can to get this possession order, and hopefully we will.
Okay.
Half an hour later and the hearing is over.
Yeah, that was a good result. We got the order for possession. She didn't turn up. 14 days has to come and go. She may leave beforehand, but if she doesn't leave within that 14 days and we get a bailiff, then she will have to go because the bailiffs will kick her out. So when, as you know, and I've said this to you before, as tempting as it might be to go, you know, with that court order, say you've got to go out, she doesn't. That court order is only any good if she leaves voluntarily. Okay. And all that court order then does is allow you to get a bailiff thereafter. So don't be tempted to sit outside a property in 15 days waiting for it to go down to the shops. That doesn't allow you to go and change the locks.
I'm not going to get wound up about it. You know, the law's on my side, so we'll just sit and wait and see what happens.
Wade, it's great meeting you, and I'm brilliant. So happy we've got the result for you.
Yeah, and thanks very much, Chris.
Give us a bell as and when, okay?
Yeah, no
anytime.
Worries.
Thanks,
right,
Wayne. Cheers, bye-bye.
Housing Enforcement Officer Steve Broderick has had a call from a tenant who is living in appalling conditions. Steve has launched an investigation.
We're off to see a gentleman that lives in a converted flat who I visited a couple of weeks ago. The property is in a bad condition, and one of the worst we're likely to see, so on a scale of 1 to 10, probably somewhere near an 8 or a 9.
From the outside, the building looks derelict. But despite appearances, someone is actually paying good money to live here.
Hi, Jason. You all right?
Every year in the UK, dangerous rental properties lead to around 70,000 injuries and 14 deaths. Because of this, landlords are obliged to put right poor conditions or face the full force of the law.
Hi, Jason. You all right?
In Birmingham, housing officer Steve Broderick is investigating a case of potential slum conditions.
Right, I would offer you all a cup of tea, but I'm not too proud of my gaff at the moment. Yeah, then.
Okay, we'll come on, yeah?
Today, he's meeting the tenant who made the complaint, 56-year-old Jason Cook.
I like to be a host, but I can't in this bloody mess.
Jason's one-bedroom flat is packed with memorabilia.
You're obviously quite attached to a lot of this stuff,
Yeah,
aren't you?
my finery, you know, because some of this I've had since I was about 2 years, 3 years, 5 years of age, you know, up to present day.
It's not just Jason's hoarding that worries Steve. It's the terrible state of the property that really concerns him.
How long have you been here?
I've been here since 2004.
Right. So some time then?
Yep.
In terms of your rent and everything, you're up to date with that? That gets paid through housing benefit, is that right?
Yes, like it was getting paid straight in.
Once a professional draftsman, ill health has forced Jason onto benefits. His weekly rent of £87.40 is paid by the council and up to date. But the property is virtually uninhabitable.
So you've still got no hot water, no heating?
No. Besides that radiator, what costs a
But that's just a plug-in radiator.
The boiler packed up 5 years ago.
So for the past few years, the flat hasn't had hot water nor heating, and there are still more problems.
You've still got no lighting, is that right?
I've got no overhead light at all.
So you're just using lights plugged into the socket. What I've got to do is just have a look round today.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like the bath's been used for some time. Obviously, with there being no hot water supply, it's difficult to use anyway. The toilet looks like there's been a long-standing leak. The floorboards around and beneath the toilet are quite rotten. It's quite unstable, the floor there. A lot of damp and mould on the walls.
In the kitchen, water from the boiler is dripping from leaking pipes.
There's 2 or 3 large bowls and a bin there collecting water that's coming out of the pipework. Obviously, they've overflowed, so there's water all over the floor as well, and it's, again, falling through into the flat below.
Because of the leaks, Jason is forced to turn the water off at the stopcock.
Jason, just to confirm then, when you want to use the water, obviously, you just turn it on very briefly, fill up what you need to fill up, put the bucket under the boiler to catch the water. Your water's turned off.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
To prove just how bad things are, Jason turns the stopcock on and sends Steve down into the empty flat below.
So we're stood below where the boiler is upstairs, and we can see that there's just water cascading through here. The ceiling's collapsed partially, and it looks like the rest of it's about to come down fairly soon as well. So pretty dire conditions, to be honest with you. Yeah. It's certainly one of the worst properties I've been in. There's a catalogue of serious problems that need to be sorted out.
With no heating, running water or proper lighting, the flat is both miserable and hazardous. But Jason doesn't see any other option.
Well, put up with it because I've got a roof at least, you know. I'm not on a park bench or in a bus shelter like some of these poor people are, but he's getting rent, so why should I live like this?
Steve's worried the landlord may refuse to carry out the work because of all Jason's memorabilia.
I mean, obviously, to carry out work in here in the current condition might prove difficult, but obviously it might require you to move some stuff around.
If the landlord refuses to do the repairs, Steve would have no choice but to close the property down, making Jason homeless.
I will endeavour to contact the landlord. If he's not prepared to engage with us, then ultimately our only option will be to take enforcement action against him.
I wouldn't put anybody in this situation where it's, you know, he's getting money for this, right? So yeah, I'm pretty vexed, right? So I'm pretty tired of it all.
But in the short term, even if we can get the boiler fixed, stop the leaks, so we can get your water supply back on, we can get you some hot water, we can get you some heating, and then at least you can cook, wash, feed yourself and clean reasonably well. That's a start, isn't it?
There's a mountain to climb to make the flat habitable. But first, Steve needs to find the landlord. In Kettering, landlord Wayne Elliott is heading to his former home. The court ordered his troublesome tenant to leave within 14 days. And that deadline is up. Today, he'll find out if she's finally gone.
She caused a lot of pain, a lot of stress. It's hurt more than anything else. I thought, you know, we had a relationship. She worked for me, she was a tenant, and she's completely abused that. I'm hoping she's out, but I doubt it.
If his tenant hasn't gone, his only option is to pay bailiffs to physically remove her.
To be brutally honest, I want her evicted by bailiffs. I want the humiliation, because she's cost me so much money and embarrassment after all the help and assistance I've given her. There's no key in the door.
It's not clear whether his tenant has left or not, but Wayne's not allowed to enter if there's any chance she's still here. With no answer at the front door and the curtains closed, Wayne goes around the back to search for more clues.
Look at the state of this. You've got a dead bird, and then you've got a kid's toy next door to it. I can't even clean it up. Absolutely unbelievable. Smashed window. Smashed window. No, she's definitely still in there.
Now he's convinced his tenant hasn't left, Wayne calls his lawyer, Chris Sharp, for advice.
Hi Wayne, how are you doing?
Well, we're at the property and there's no one in. We've looked through the letterbox. There still seems to be kids' shoes up the stairwell.
This is your position. Even though the order has now run its course, you must walk away and get a bailiff. Because if you don't, and you go in there thinking that you've got the power of the order, you are still committing potentially an unlawful eviction. And believe me, you do not want to be going down that route because you could get it's a criminal offence and the fines are massive. So walk away, Wayne.
Could you book me a bailiff then?
We'll get on with that. We'll book you a bailiff, Wayne.
OK, brilliant. As soon as possible.
That's not a problem, Wayne.
Lovely. Hopefully now, in the next 2 weeks, we'll better get my own back. Why should she be in my house for the last 6 months, rent-free? It's unbelievable. So, yes, I am looking forward to the eviction.
In 14 days, bailiffs will arrive to evict his unruly tenant. All Wayne can do is walk away and pray his house is still in one piece. Steve Broderick from the Housing Enforcement Team is on a mission. Tenant Jason Cook is living in atrocious conditions, and after some investigating, Steve's managed to track down his landlord.
The conditions in the flat are pretty poor, and I think if anybody lived in those conditions for any period of time, it would have an effect on their physical and mental health, possibly. And the longer it goes on, I think the more of an issue it might become. So yeah, I think it's quite a serious problem.
Waiting for Steve at the property is the landlord. Before going in, Steve's keen to establish some facts.
At the moment, the housing benefit is going to yourself, isn't it?
Yes.
You're getting the rent.
Yes.
But effectively, you manage the property. You're responsible for repairs and everything like that. So I'm looking to you to get stuff sorted out. Yeah. Okay. Right. First problem is, obviously, as you can see, there's no lighting. So there's no lighting on the stairwell, in the entrance hallway, anywhere upstairs. He's having to use plug-in lamps.
According to Jason, it's been over a year since he's even seen his landlord.
I've tried to get in touch with you, and I had no reply for quite a while.
It's only the one. Maybe you might have been busy just...
Yeah, well, I've been here trying to survive.
As well as the electrics, top of Steve's job list is the faulty boiler.
This obviously hasn't worked for some time, has it? We've got buckets full of water, so the water is literally pouring out of here whenever it's turned on, which isn't really acceptable. Get that boiler sorted, that's the most pressing issue, because then he's got heat, hot water. Management of the property has been pretty poor.
Yes, you're right.
There is an issue with the toilet. Now, I don't know, it appears to be leaking as well. This floor around it is obviously timber floor and it's pretty rotten. It's obviously your property, you want to look after your interests a bit, don't you? You don't want any more damage being caused.
No.
So how soon do you think we can sort this out? Because obviously it needs to happen fairly urgently.
Okay, I will start as soon as possible.
Well, I need some answers by the end of this week at the latest, really.
Yes,
I
will.
Okay. Right, Jason.
The landlord might be agreeing to Steve's demands, but whether he actually calls the builders in is another matter.
He's going to get a gas engineer to either repair that boiler or replace it with a new one if it can't be repaired.
Yep.
Obviously sort out any leaks, any issues with the pipe work will all be done. So we can get your heating on, your hot water on, and your water supply.
Splendid.
Right?
Yeah.
In terms of the electrics, we'll get an electrician to look at the lighting circuit, so you get your lights back on.
I really appreciate it.
Jason's not only had to cope with no proper lighting, hot water or heating, but also a pest problem.
The other thing is the rodent.
Yes, sorry, I forgot to talk about that.
It's a back with a vengeance.
I think all it needs good cleaning.
But I have to use wet wipes. I've got no hot running water, obviously, so
And that's the problem, obviously, without having any hot water, cleaning becomes an issue, doesn't it? So
and they can cause health risks
Yeah,
and
I know what
insomnia when they, excuse me, when I'm trying to sleep, they'll come out at night, early hours of the morning, I get woken up. I woke up more than 2 occasions with mice on my chest, yeah. And I don't like that because they defecate, they actually defecate on me.
we can look at doing some treatment for the pests and get that, in the longer term, get that sorted out, yeah?
All the best.
As long as we keep the promise with a boiler. 8 degrees in here last year. If I didn't have this, I'd have probably died of hypothermia.
After years of neglect, Jason can only hope the landlord is as good as his word.
I'll speak to you soon, yeah? Thanks.
I'm really happy you come.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I'm glad we sorted it out. Okay, thank you. I'll leave you in peace then, and I'll speak to you soon.
Sound?
Just Jason, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
And thanks for all your help, always.
Hopefully we can.
Yeah, there's a bit of weight off me.
Come back in a week or two and we'll see some improvement with a bit of luck. All right. It's gone reasonably well. The landlord is now engaging with us. So yeah, it's looking quite promising at the moment.
Steve has ordered the landlord to make the changes as soon as possible. If he doesn't, Steve will have little choice but to close the property, making Jason homeless. There are around 2 million private landlords in the UK, but most aren't big-shot businesses. More than 60% are individuals renting out just one property. And it's these landlords who are the most vulnerable when a tenant stops paying the rent. Lorry driver Graham Barnes and his wife Rena are on their way to check on their daughter's old house in Grays, Essex. They've been renting it out on her behalf since 2008.
Current tenant's been there about 5 years now.
First it was fine, she was a lovely tenant, everything was paid. Then this last year, everything's gone wrong.
They're at their wits' end. For the past 11 months, the Barnes have not received their full rent and are owed almost £5,000.
We had phoned quite a few times and she'd just not answered the phone to us. It's 11 months since we last spoke to the tenant. Oh, can't get it.
What do you reckon?
Don't know. It's an absolute mess. Look at that. She's not looked after nothing.
Their daughter and grandson now live in Spain, and the rent from this house was meant to provide her with some much-needed income.
My daughter purchased it nearly 10 years ago. It was basically for a pension. She wanted to live here for a while, but it never worked out, and so she decided to move over to Spain. That's what she always wanted to do. And she's happy now. She's happy in Spain, but she needs the money now to carry on doing what she wants to do. Look after her son. She's a
single parent.
Single parent now, isn't she? She needs all the help she can get, and this doesn't help at all.
This last 11 months, it's been absolute hell and grief. Nothing more to say. She's turned out to be the tenant from hell. Nothing more to say about her. Wrong. Absolutely wrong.
Let's go on. Oh, enough.
While the Barnes are preparing to get rid of their tenant from hell, Wayne Elliott is about to come face to face with his. It's eviction day, and Wayne's hoping to confront his tenant before she disappears.
Today, at 10:30, the bailiffs are turning up, so I'm hoping to have a little chat with her to find out why she's done this. I rented it to her as a friend, as a favour. I trusted this woman.
Waiting outside the property is eviction lawyer Chris Sharp, who's been advising Wayne.
The lights are on, but I've been here about an hour, but that light has been on ever since. I don't know if she's in or not.
Wayne's desperate to see the inside of his house, but the law says he can only enter once the tenant has left.
I just want her out. I want to get back into my house, see what damage is done, and start putting it back together again. The key's still in the door. There's still somebody in there, definitely.
Just have to wait, Wayne.
Yeah.
For the bailiff.
Is that him?
An hour before the bailiffs are due, a man with a van arrives. Chris and Wayne hope he's here to help the tenant move.
Yes, mate. Are you Yeah? Do you know when she's coming out? In a minute? Okay. All right. Yeah, it's fine. Quicker the better, mate. To be honest with you.
In no way get confrontational, whether it's with him or with her. Just let them get on with it. Let them go.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last thing you want now is for her to just have any reason to call the police.
Finally, the tenant, Katie, appears. Ignoring Chris's advice, Wayne tries to get some answers.
You've got the key, Katie. So when are you going to pay me the money you owe me?
Go and have a look at the house.
It doesn't matter about the house. What about all the rent? What about all the rent you owe me? What about all the rent you owe me? Hey? So I can go in the house now then, yeah? Yeah, so you've got to say it on camera.
Have a look, it's all tidy.
It doesn't matter. What about the rent, Katie? What about the inconvenience and all the money?
The tenant locks herself in the van.
All right, mate.
In frustration, Wayne heads for the house.
Wayne, just hold on, mate. Just hold on. Just hold on. Don't go in yet. And on the way out, let me get all the gear. Okay? From this close, don't do anything that could jeopardise it, okay?
Wayne's desperate to see the state of his home.
I need to check that none of my stuff's missing. I can't go in then.
Well, not until this guy's finished taking all the gear out. When this guy gives you the green light, then...
Is that it, mate?
That's it. Is that it?
All right.
The property's Wayne's again. She's left the keys in there. So by rights, she's surrendered the property now. She's surrendered it with 1 hour to go. Thank you, Katie.
Yeah,
Wayne,
let's go and have a look.
After you.
She's left her rubbish, obviously. Look at that. Ooh.
She said she's left the keys for you. Where are they?
I don't know. She said on the table.
On the table? Which table?
No, there was no keys left.
Yeah, there's no keys. She did say she'd left them.
Yeah, but she...
And she did say she'd left the
It's on the
property.
table, but there's nothing on the table.
No keys. That's why you always need a locksmith.
On the surface, the property looks in fairly good condition. But then Wayne opens the door to the cellar.
Oh, my God, look at that. They've dumped all their crap in the cellar.
Is that your telly, Wayne?
Is it a telly? Not only does she owe me a load of rent, but now I've got to dispose of her belongings that she doesn't want or need anymore, i.e. sofa, mattresses, rubbish. It's just sick. I don't know why people think they can get away with it. Banister being pulled off the wall. Oh my God. Oh. Behind the door. How long's that been there? That's milk gone off. Oh, yeah, there's another dumping ground in there. Coving's hanging up. Where's the rest of my coving? Look. It's just grimy and dirty. It needs a complete revamp. It needs decorating from top to bottom and get it back up to scratch. And then we'll decide what we're going to do with it then. Whether we're going to rent it again, which I doubt it, or sell it or move in. We're not 100% sure yet, but we'll see.
What began as a simple favour to an employee down on her luck turned into a very expensive ordeal for Wayne.
She has taken him through the mill for the last 4 or 5 months. He's helped her out, and she thanks him by leaving him, you know, a property that's in a bit of a state. And that's why you've got to pick your tenants very carefully and question who you are doing a favour for.
Thanks, Chris.
No,
Get my house back.
Pleasure.
In Grays, Essex, Graham and Rena Barnes' legal battles are just beginning.
OK?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's cold.
Today, the couple and their tenant are due in court. They're hoping to gain a possession order for their daughter's property, but also to win back over £8,000 in lost rent and legal fees. But to make the situation more complicated, the tenant has hit back with a massive counterclaim.
Well, she wanted £20,000 compensation for stubbing her toe.
The tenant is saying that due to the property's disrepair, she injured her toe. But the Barnes believe it's just a ruse to get out of paying the back rent.
They've got a nerve. Absolute
They've got
nerve.
nothing. They've got no counterclaim whatsoever.
Waiting for them outside Basildon County Court is their legal advisor, Sasha Charles.
Hello.
From Landlord Advice UK.
As you're aware, we're looking to have the defendant's defence and counterclaim struck out today. The best case would be we'd be walking out with a possession order and the tenant's defence and counterclaim struck out. Worst case, the courts wouldn't strike it out and wouldn't grant a possession order.
If it goes our way, possession order, when do we get our key?
Usually order the tenant to leave your property within 14 days. If they don't leave within 14 days, we have to instruct the bailiffs.
By the time we come out of court by 4 o'clock, by 4:05, I would like my keys.
Impatient, aren't you?
You know? I just want to get in there and, as they say, kick ass. Oh.
Less than an hour later, the hearing is over.
I am livid, I'm angry. What else can I say?
It's become clear kicking arse has turned to cutting a deal.
She has turned up, yes. And they hid in a corner, so we didn't know they were there.
In return for their tenant dropping her injury claim, the Barnes have dropped their claim for lost rent. They may have won a possession order, but they've lost over £8,000.
They were adamant that they didn't want to drop their defence and counterclaim unless the landlord was to drop their claim for the rent arrears. And in the end, to ensure a possession order was granted, the landlords had no choice but to drop their claim for rent arrears. So the landlords got possession order, but they're out of pocket by a lot of money.
The Barnes had little choice.
If the landlord didn't drop this, it could have gone on for a very long time. It could have cost thousands of pounds more. And when you look at this particular tenant who doesn't have a great income, doesn't have any assets, the county court judgment's not really of any benefit to the landlord.
So I lose all my money, they owe me, and they get away with it.
Hello, Gemma.
Oh, Gemma, again, all right?
Back at home, they break the news to their daughter in Spain.
What happened was they don't pay us nothing and we don't pay them nothing and they walk away.
It's not the result they hoped, but after almost a year of fighting, everyone's had enough.
Relieved it's over, but I've had to work 3 or 4 jobs here to stay here, and then I've got someone else living off me. Stressful, no sleep, trying to bring up a 7-year-old, trying to keep a roof over my head here. What a atrocious 12 months.
Hey.
I'm going grey.
A deep breath, Gemma, and the stress will go.
Well, I'm sick of it. She's got away with murder, but I need to carry on with my life.
Yeah.
The Barnes family can only hope their tenant moves out in 2 weeks' time. If not, they'll have to call in the bailiffs. A month has now passed since Wayne Elliott kicked his tenant and former employee out. Now he's busy giving the house some much-needed TLC.
It's going to be fun doing it up. I've had the house for 13, 14 years and I've done bits to it to make, maintain it, but we've never done anything to this extent. So, yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to put our touch to it.
Wayne's determined the nightmare of the past few months isn't going to get him down. In fact, he's got some big plans.
The future's really positive. I mean, we're going to do this up really, really nicely. We're going to move back in for a while, get married and move on next year. It'll be nice.
Graham and Rena Barnes are on their way to the home they've been renting out on behalf of their daughter who lives in Spain. Owed over £8,000 in rent and legal fees, 15 days ago they won a possession order. Their tenant has just texted to say she's finally moved out.
It's about time. You know, it's taken near enough a year to get her out, and I think that's enough time.
They're desperate to inspect the property.
It could be fine, but there again, it could be in a right mess. Don't know. It's do or die, isn't it, really? So we're going in, up the door and see what we got. Mattress, estate.
Look at that. Ugh.
Yeah, you don't want to sit on that.
No.
No light bulbs in here. There's no power at all. I don't know what she's done.
Oh, shoot! Gone off cheese.
Oh, gosh.
The smell. I'm gonna have to open some windows.
Oh.
Ugh.
What's she done?
She didn't even tell us about this. Oh my word. Oh my God.
Things go from bad to worse when they check the garage.
Did she live in the garage?
The tenant has left them a note to explain the mess.
I'm really sorry about I had to leave the stuff in the house. I've ordered a cleaning company to take them, but they never come. Get rid of everything, she says. I've got to go.
She's got a bloody nerve asking us to get rid of it.
This is absolutely disgusting, this is. Kids' toys, clothes,
Yeah, be
bike,
careful.
TV, tumble dryer. No, it's going. The doctor lot, not mucking about here.
Fixing the mess will be a big job.
Yeah. Oh, you're here.
So while Rena sorts out the electricity, Graham and his son get stuck in.
Right, you got it? Give it a good old... That's it. There you go. I feel scared. This woman's caused so much stress, it's unbelievable. Couldn't even bother to clear the place out.
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
You're coming back in now.
Hooray!
Yeah, coming back in now. New keys, new lock. That's it. Anybody for a chip? Oh my God. Oh, another chip. I'll never rent again. It's too much hassle. I'm actually warning people not to rent out. This is what happens. It costs a fortune to put it right.
And I've got electric. We have lights. Yes.
Nightmare's finished now. It's gone. It's over. She's out, and I'm happy now. Come on, darling. Let's go. Marvellous.
Down.
Absolutely marvellous.
Graham, Rena and their daughter Gemma can finally move on with their lives. In Birmingham, there's also been progress for Jason, the tenant living in horrendous conditions. It's been 11 weeks since housing officer Steve Broderick ordered Jason's landlord to fix the property. Now he's on his way back there to find out what, if anything, has been done.
It is very frustrating when you come across a property like that. The landlord's obviously neglected any of his responsibilities in terms of providing basic facilities in the property. No heating, no water, no lighting, no smoke alarms, anything like that. So quite serious problems and leaving the tenant in quite a lot of danger. A lot of the tenants that we come across tend to be vulnerable tenants, and some of the landlords do tend to exploit them a little bit.
More often than not, the landlords Steve deals with make empty promises.
Hello, Jason.
Morning.
All right, morning.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Certainly.
Thank you.
But he's in for a real surprise.
So, it feels a lot warmer in here. The radiator's working okay?
Oh, yes. Yeah, you could almost fry an egg on that.
It's nice and hot. That's
Yep.
good news.
You know, so they go to the library to keep warm. It's just wonderful.
Got lights as well, which is
Yeah.
a bonus, isn't it?
Indeed
It's good
it
news.
is.
We can see what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it must make a big difference for you, has it?
Major difference, yes.
Looks a lot tidier in here as well, Jason.
Yeah.
You've got a lot more space to move around.
Again, that's a godsend, so I can actually see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Tatting down, giving stuff away, binning stuff, stretch out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It looks good, but Steve needs to confirm all the work he demanded has been done.
This is the new boiler.
Oh, look at this.
Excellent.
This is a darling.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And there's no problem since he's fitted it. The heating's working fine.
Heating's been constant.
Excellent. And the bathroom, new
Okay,
toilet.
indeed.
Right.
My gorgeous new throne.
Excellent.
Yeah, look at that.
No more leaks.
No more leaks.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So nice and watertight. And your bath?
Bath is fully optional.
Looks nice and clean. You must have been busy cleaning it as well, have you?
Oh, yeah, I always keep it like
Yeah.
that.
So you can have a nice hot bath.
Oh,
now?
indeed, yeah, because I obviously wasn't using it because no hot water. So it was a store bin, it's like a flipping trough. I was going to get a couple of ponies and put a bit of food in it. That's warm to hot.
Have a feel.
Yep.
Yeah, it's almost piping hot, isn't it? Lovely.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
For Jason, it's life-changing.
I'm well pleased with what's been achieved.
I'm pleased that everything's on the mend.
Excellent, and
you
many
get things
thanks
back on track.
to you and your team as well.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank
Yep.
you very much.
Good one.
Take care.
Have a good
See you
day.
soon.
All right.
After years of living with no hot water, no central heating, no proper lighting, Jason has the flat he deserves and a legal right to.
Pretty good outcome, to be honest. And the landlords responded fairly well once we got in touch with him. So, yeah, Jason seems pretty happy with the way things are at the moment. Obviously, he's got his heating working again, he's got running water. So, yeah, the situation within the flat is a lot better, and he seems pretty happy about it, yeah.
Hello?
Next time, a landlord in Catford wants to take matters into his own hands.
What I wanted to do is drag her out of the flat and say, this is my flat.
A tenant does a runner in West London.
Police pitched up. They must have been looking for a tenant.
And Chris actions a dawn raid on squatters in Bristol.
Morning, guys.
Grab your stuff, you've got 2 minutes.
Do not push me. Do not push me.